don't give the keys to my wife. Do not give anything to my wife. Don't worry about it. I will take care of everything. Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Bad Luck Kitty, or you can call me Kitty. As you can see, I am not at home. No, I have not moved into my new place yet, but I wanted to share this story with you all. Okay, so one thing that I've learned, observed, paid attention to here in Merida regarding renting. Okay, I don't know if it's an everybody thing. I don't know if it's a some people thing. Listen, I'm gonna just tell the story. So as we all know, I'm moving out of my place. At this point, I have moved out of my place. And when it came down to it, when I made the decision to move out, I was just like, I'm out. Like, breaking my lease, like, I'm going to just let my landlord know, hey, this is not going to work. They said I need to give them a 60-day notice in my lease. It said I need to give them a 60-day notice that I will be moving out for a full deposit refund. However, I was giving them as soon as I find a place, I'm getting out. So I was not expecting any of my deposit back or anything like that. I'm just like, I got to go because my mental clarity, baby, it was not working. It was me or them. And baby, it was coming. I was losing every time, right? So I hit them up. We have a group chat, which is my realtor, myself, my landlord, his property manager that lives here, and his wife, I guess his landlords, right? So in the group chat, I'm like, yo, this is not working. I had already been speaking to them about the construction, because the construction was starting early in the morning. It was going into the night, through the night. Several times it had happened, and like nothing was being resolved, right? And so I was just like, we've got to do something about this. Like, this is horrible, right? So they were like, oh, I was like, well, I'm gonna move. And they were like, okay, you can move out. So in the group chat, they say, hey, you move out, we'll return you 1 month's deposit. We'll keep the second month deposit, because I paid 2 deposits. We'll keep the second month deposit, and we'll apply that towards any repairs we have to make, as well as your final utility bills. I said, okay, cool. I'm cool. That's straight. You straight. We straight. Okay, I'm here for that. So carry on, go through the house search process. If you have not checked out those videos, do check out those videos. Go through the house searching process, and then finally, boom, I pick a place. I'm like, okay, cool. I let them know, hey, I have found a place and I'm gonna move out. So I paid my rent. My contract is from the 15th to the 15th. So I paid my rent on June 15th. And so that will carry me to July 15th. I say, well, I will be out by the 15th. At that point, I had not had a move out date, right? And they were like, okay, that's cool, right? So when I say landlords, there is a guy landlord, husband, wife landlord, all right? So they're like, okay, cool. So time is going on and time is going on. I'm packing, I'm moving, da-da-da-da-da. We'll have a video for that. Not sure if this is going to go before or after that video. And I'm just like, okay, things are moving along. And so finally I get a text message. No, finally I observed that the husband had been removed from the house group chat, right? I was like, okay, well maybe he like, oh, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't need to be in here in case there's any back and forth. I was like, okay. So, all right. So notice that the admin had removed the husband. I was like, whatever. So then a wife private messages me, and it's like, hey, can I come over and talk to you about the move out, right? And I'm like, okay. So the wife speaks English, the property manager they speak some English or whatever, like Spanish their first language or whatever. So they bring a friend with them. They're like, we're gonna bring our friend or whatever, and she's going to translate. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So they come over. It just so happened my homegirl is over or whatever, and she's like, well, I'm gonna leave, because I'm like, no, just stay. I don't know why I asked her to stay. I don't need her support, but so I'm just saying for her to stay, right? And I'm like, okay, go ahead and stay. She's like, okay, cool, whatever. So she's just sitting there, and they come over. They explain to me the same thing that they explained in the group chat. They were like, so, you know, with all the stuff that's going on, and the lady, the friend is explaining the English, and she's like, yeah, so we're going to give you 1 month's deposit. We're going to keep the second month's deposit for any repairs that we need to make, as well as your final utility bills. I'm like, okay, right? Like, why'd I have to come over here? Okay, cool. Fast forward. All right, so fast forward a week. All right, here we are. The wife is messaging me. It's a Monday, and she's like, hey, what is your banking information so that I can transfer you the 1 month's deposit? I'm like, okay, cool. I send her my information, da 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 da. She's like, okay, cool, right? Because I've been paying them, they hadn't been paying me, so she needed my information. Okay, cool, that's fine, no problem. I send it to her. This is Monday. I'm going through life. I'm honestly not thinking about it. I'm trying to get my house packed up, trying to prepare for this trip, trying to get everything wrapped up and you know, make my next steps happen, right? So I'm not focused on it. So it just hits me. I'm like, did she make the deposit or whatever? Check my bank account, still no deposit. So I hit her up, and it's been a week. So it's the following Monday. I hit her, I'm like, hey, do you know when the deposit will hit my account? And she's like, oh, I'm driving. I'm going to get back to you. Okay, that's cool. Carry on my day. We are officially moving at this point. We've gotten the storage, and we're doing the first move. I moved in three phases I moved, right? So I hit her up. I'm like, okay, cool. So she hits me back, and she's like, yeah, do you have a copy of your utility bills and proof that you paid them? I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, I keep a folder with all my receipts and everything. And I'm like, yeah, boom. Take a picture of it, send it to her. Oh, can you send me a picture of the meter? I'm like, okay, cool. I go outside. I send her a picture. But the meter is kind of like, you know, yellowed or whatever from the sun and the water and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I send her a picture of it. I'm like, you can't really see it, but these are the numbers that it says. She's like, okay. I'm like, how does this impinge on my deposit? Because this is the last conversation we had, right? She's like, well, you know, I don't know about the deposit because, you know, there's so many changes that there's so much work that needs to be done at the house, as well as having to pay your final utility bills. And I'm like, not no work need to be done at the house when prior to that, she said, do not worry about repairing anything that you did or replacing anything. Leave all of that there. Don't paint the walls. Don't do anything. Leave it exactly as it is. And we will take care of all of that. And you don't have to worry about it at all. So I was like, well, if that's the case, then I can undo all the. I was like, you know what? At this point, I didn't expect any deposit back. But you said you was gonna give me a deposit back. So now I'm sitting up here like, it's getting a little, getting a little shaky on your word or whatever. She was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. At this point, I'm like, whatever, forget it. I'm not getting any deposit back, going about my life. So I'm moving or whatever, because we moving in the afternoon, it's a little hot. So we move in the afternoon, and the people are here and they're loading my stuff. And this car pulls up, and I'm standing there, like, we're literally like about to go to the storage. And this car pulls up. It's a younger guy and an older guy, right? Younger guy is the nephew, older guy is the dad. Younger guy, the nephew, is also a lawyer. So he pulls up, we're having a conversation in Spanish or whatever, and he's asking me, who have I been paying my rent with? Who have I been dealing with? How have things been going? When am I expected to move out? And I'm just telling him, like, yeah, I'll be gone. I'll be completely finished in 2 more days. This is what I was told, right? He was like, so when's the last time you paid your rent? I was like, June 15th, right? And he was like, hey, I'm going to ask you in English. Completely switches out of Spanish to English. And he's like, I want to ask you in English, when is the last time you paid your rent? I was like, June 15th, right? And he was like, okay. And I was like, do you want to see my account, right? Like, let's just be realistic. They would not have let me stay there almost an additional 30 days without paying my rent had I not paid my rent. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, yeah, whatever. No, I believe you. I don't need to see your accounts. I'm like, okay, cool. They telling me the wife is crazy. The wife is greedy. The wife messes stuff up. She doesn't do anything. And I'm just like, The whole time I'm like, say like, I don't know. That has nothing to do with me. It's just me and my daughter here. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. They're telling me that the husband and the wife are getting a divorce. I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? So he was like, so who are you giving the keys back to? I explained to them that the wife and the sister told me to turn my keys in to the neighbor 2 houses down, right? So the neighbor was going to get the keys. The neighbor was also the person who came over and translated that day the same thing they had already talked about in the group chat. Okay, so you can connect the dot here, right? And they're like, no, don't give the keys to the neighbor. I'll come get the keys. This is what the young guy, the lawyer, is telling me. And he was like, I'll come get them at 6 o'clock. I'm like, no, because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be gone. And he's like, oh, well, my grandfather, the male owner's dad, is going to come back and pick them up. And I'm like, I ain't never seen this man. I never seen a lawyer. I never seen anything. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm not giving up anything right now. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, right? So I'm like, all right. So long story short, I was like, okay, whatever. I can agree to whatever. But until I actually speak to the owners, I'm not doing anything. So move everything into storage, get that part done, and back in the house. And I'm low-key like, yo, what's going on? I had only been talking to the sister up until one point, and then the wife popped up, and she is like walking the property, and then all of a sudden she's handling the payments and all this other stuff. And I'm like, and now they're going through a divorce, and this random lawyer and this older man that I've never seen before pop up and telling me that they're going to bring me deposit and I'm going to give them the keys. And I'm like, now could this be a scam? Like, could they really they give me 16,000 pesos and I get them keys? Did I just sell these people house and not knowing? Like, I don't know, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever, until I hear from something. So I get back in the house and I'm going through my messages and I see that the owner male has messaged me, and he's like, hey, reaching out to you. My dad and my nephew came over and they have set up an arrangement with you to get the keys. And if you could please just do that to them. And I'll go ahead and take care of your deposit via transfer right now. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, like, buddy, I've never seen you. I only met her a few months ago. I've only been really dealing with your sister. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. But I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Run me my deposit and let me just get up out of here at this point. So the next day happens, right? So this is like Monday night. So then Tuesday happens, right? So Tuesday, I'm in the house. I'm like packing. I've sent out laundry. I'm trying to get all the little stuff packed up now, right? We've condensed the house down. We're just living out of one room and everything is pretty much packed up, whatever. Trying to make sure we get everything packed in. Okay, here we go. There is a random car pulls up in front of my house. And I look out. I'm in the kitchen, like washing some glassware to wrap it up. And I see that there's this random car parked in front of my house. And there's this person like looking in the window at me. They looking at me. I'm looking at them. They looking at me. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. So I go about my business, right? People do that, from time to time. I ain't gonna lie. People would stare in the window because they see a black person. They would stare. So it just kind of got like whatever. But something about this just felt a little strange, right? So I'm continuing to pack in. I check my phone, and on my phone, it's the wife asking me, will I talk to her lawyer? And I'm like, okay, like why? Why do I need to talk to your lawyer? I'm like, why do I need to talk to your lawyer? If you could just tell my lawyer or everything that my husband told you, that would be good for me. I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm not about to get caught up in the middle of you and your husband's whatever. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. All I'm trying to do is just move out. I don't want to get caught up in the middle of anyone's divorce. It's unfortunate you're having this situation, I'm trying to be compassionate because at the same time, I feel some type of way, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I got like 3 fronts, got like 3 battles going on, right? What's the first thing, right? Because I'm a lady's lady, right? Do I want to help this woman stick it to the man? right? Am I aiding in her being taken advantage of or some type of situation? Two, what's the legal ramifications? I signed my lease with the husband. The wife's name was nowhere on it. So the husband's the only person that I knew needed to sign everything. That's who I have my notary with and everything. So there's the legal ramifications. And then there's the me. You know what I'm saying? Like, me as a mom, I need to take care of me and my daughter. Everything else is, they ain't my business, right? Like, this is my number one priority, is me and my baby. So I'm like, I feel some type of way, but sis, I'm not getting involved, right? The man stays out there. Like, I'm talking about, it felt like he was out there for a whole minute. She's just like, if you could just speak to him, and it doesn't have anything to do with you, da 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 da. If you could just do this for me and help me. And I'm like, yo, I can't do that, right? Because at this point, I don't know, right? So then, fast forward. Now that's Tuesday. So now we're on Wednesday. Wednesday is move out day, right? Wednesday is move out day. I tell them at 2 p.m. I will have the keys at 2 o'clock, right? So that we did the final move, which was I moved some plants to my friend's house, and we got there, got back home. It was literally 2:04 p.m. when the Uber pulled up. Y'all, we in Mexico. 2:04 is on time for a 2 o'clock. It's early for a 2 o'clock meeting, right? 2:04 is, you know what I'm saying? That's 15 minutes prior. And for any other meeting, at 2:04 I pulled up, y'all, and it was chains on the gate. Chains on. I was like, so at that same time, our travel luggage was still inside, right? Our travel luggage was in there because we were turning in the keys and then we were headed to the ADO. So I was like, oh my God. So I'm like heart is pumping. I'm like, my shit is trapped in this house. I don't know who came. I don't know if it was the wife. I didn't know who it was. I did not know who had locked it up. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna panic. We're not gonna stress. We cool. We straight. Everything's gonna be okay. And so I'm there, and I'm kind of like, oh shit, this didn't happen or whatever. So finally, the grandfather dad, the older gentleman, he circles the block. Something just told him to come back and check. Don't know who his higher being is, but they just told him come back and check. And he was like, oh, I'm so glad. He said the workers said that they hadn't seen me all day. Now, how the workers didn't see me all day? When Wednesday morning we moved literally the last little bit of stuff. Wednesday morning at I think 8 a.m. was the move time. And then at 1 p.m. we moved a whole truckload of plants. Literally, y'all, a whole 40 plus plants were moved at 1 p.m., which was just literally an hour prior, okay? Anyway, they said they had not seen me all day and the house was empty, da 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 da. So the man, since he didn't have the keys, he just put chains on the gate, because even if you do have the keys and you got the chain on, you can't open the electric gate or whatever. He said, because the day prior I was talking to another one of my neighbors or whatever, and she was like, oh, neighborly, oh, I saw a truck here. And I was like, yeah, I'm moving because of the construction, and they just have a total disregard, da 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 da. So they also told the grandfather, yeah, we saw her. And he was like, did you see her with somebody? And he was like, yeah, we saw her with a woman neighbor. The grandfather kind of being like, well, woman neighbor, that's who I heard she was giving the keys to. So maybe she gave the keys to the woman neighbor. However, the grandfather said, let me just circle this block one more time. I'm so glad he circled the block. Now, could we have climbed the fence? Yeah, we could have climbed the fence. Would we have gotten in trouble? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, the grandfather came. He opened the chains, fresh, brand new chains up. Let us go inside, get our stuff, and we were out. Listen, I don't ever in my life want to be caught up in anybody's divorce, honey. Feeling like the other woman being in the situation. That shit is crazy. It's drama. I don't know if there's some type of rule, like you talk to one person, you got to talk to another person. I didn't know. I don't know the laws there. Hell, I don't know the laws here. So I was just trying to get through it. But listen, the move out phase is always tense, especially when there's like double deposits involved and money involved and all this other stuff. And I listen, I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is. I've heard stories of when it's time to move out and people come time for getting deposits, all of a sudden the landlord ghosts them. All of a sudden they start just like implying all type of things. The move out horror stories are crazy, right? I don't know if anybody ever had any situation like mine, but I just know that there's always like these reasons why people, like the landlords, don't want to give one or both or any of the deposit money back. I'm gonna be honest, I have not heard one successful move out story. I really thought mine was going to be that successful move out story, which I think for the most part it is, outside of like the craziness. And even considering it was like, I didn't even give the full notice and anything, I think I'll say it's a semi-success, besides all the divorce drama craziness. Just be very cautious when you get ready to move out, because once large sums of money, even though people think, oh, 16,000 pesos is not a lot of money, it's only 900 US dollars. To someone, especially in Mexico, 16,000 pesos is a lot of money. Actually, 32,000 pesos, if you look at it for the full double deposit, 32,000 pesos is a lot of money. I mean, even in US, 1,800 plus dollars is a lot of money. So I just wanted to share my experience with you all. I'm trying to keep y'all updated on this moving journey. I really appreciate you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends.